What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Muses. Yes, indeed. How about that? Muses making their debut on the channel. Yes, that's Muses. Muses with an S at the end. Not to be confused with Muse. It's Muses. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Home Gnome, and this is actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of September for being a Silver Tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoy the show. Home Gnome wanted to see me react to this. It is Muses with a tune called Run Up. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Poppin' Records, all one word. Yes, indeed. And the video has 21,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Muses, Run Up. Muses live version. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I'm gonna not pause at all during this. This is gonna. All right. Let it run at this point. I hope we don't get blocked. Nice. I wish I could have stopped. I wanted to stop. I really did. I wanted to pause, but we got about the halfway point where I was wanting to pause, and then it just started going into solo. And I'm like, where am I going to pause? That's all right. It's okay. I hope we don't get blocked, but I guess time will tell on that one. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Muses with Run Up. That was a request from Home Gnome. And that was actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of September for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. Okay, despite the fact I didn't get a chance to really pause, I mean, I could have, I would have been pausing in the middle of solos, and they were on such a roll, I didn't want to take any chances, so I hope this doesn't get blocked. I really do, because if it does get blocked, then that's my fault. I hope so. Here's hoping. Here's crossing our fingers and really hoping. As far as this performance goes, I do have a score, and I have my reasonings for the score, I promise you. So let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.4. What does that mean? Well, an 8.4 would translate to a great skill rating because overall, I think this was a great job. It would also equate out to 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. Yeah, an A-. So there you go, an 8.4, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. This was really cool, actually. This kind of reminded me of something like in between, like a hybrid of Chick Corea Electric Band and Steve Vai. It had the feel and the groove of something the Chick Corea Electric Band would come up with, but with the modern, rock guitar sound, hard rock guitar sound, guitar virtuosic sound of Steve Vai. In particular, if I had to really get nitpicky, I would go back to like either Flexible or Passion and Warfare. One of those two albums. They had a very similar tone, especially in the guitar. I like the groove on this. I do. The groove felt really nice. The halftime feel and that straight time feel. And it was, no, actually, no, I'm sorry. Switch that around. It was straight time and double time. My apology.
What's the matter with you?
But it was really well done between the two, and when they would shift, you would feel the noticeable shift, mainly because the drummer was putting the snare hits on the upbeats, on the ands of 1, 2, 3, and 4, not on the downbeats. And I've always said, whenever you do that, whenever drummers do that with their snare placement on the upbeats, you're gonna get that illusion of a little extra push, a little bit of a rush feeling, like we're kind of rushing the tempo, but we're really not. You know, they were right on tempo, but because of the snare placement, it did have that illusion of a little bit extra push, and it felt good. It felt really good. A very stark contrast to when we were doing straight time. So, because the straight time almost felt like halftime, so it felt good. Having those two contrasting feels going. As far as the chordal progression goes, really interesting. Not your typical, 1-4-5 or 1-3-4 or 1-3-5. No, there was a lot of movement in there. A lot of let me see. It was 1-3-4-6, and then it was 1-2-3-6, 1-3-4-6-7, and then I believe there was even some usage of 9 in there as well, going. Jumping the octave, going the 6 to the 7 to the 9 to the root, and back and resolving to the root. But there was just some really, really nice chordal progressions happening in there. Not your typical stuff. As far as musicianship goes, this is where they really came up and score, was in their musicianship. And I'm going to start in a really weird place. I'm going to start with the bass playing. Now, I know everybody's going to go, what'd you think of the popping and slapping? Guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The popping and slapping that she was doing outside of her solo was really basic. It was really simple. It was octaves. It was 1/8, 1/8, slap it on the 1, pop it on the 8. I mean, that's literally all it was. It didn't matter where she moved on the neck. The same pattern happened every single time. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm blown away by that, because I'm really not. It's very basic, easy, simple stuff. That's popping and slapping 101. But on the flip side, however, what did impress me was the fingering pattern that she came up with in the verses. By stark contrast, far more interesting, far more intricate, a lot more melodic, but at the same time, what I really liked about her playing is every time she was done with her pattern, what did she do? Came back down to the root and reestablished the root note before moving up on the neck again and following her pattern, and then back down to the root again to reestablish and keep maintaining that low end that we need to do as bass players. Unless you're soloing. Now, if you're soloing, that's a whole different subject. And her solo was nice.
Nice.
I really dug her solo. Now, the popping and slapping that was done in her solo towards the end, that's a completely different story compared to what she was doing in the main riff. No, that was clean, boy. That was some really nice popping and slapping there, especially the slapping, that double slap that she had going. Really nice. The solo that she did as a whole was really, really well done, and I would even dare say impressive. But it wasn't the highlight for me. Trust me, I have my highlight. I know who the star of the show was, at least in my opinion. The keyboard playing kind of gave me vibes a little bit of Chester Thompson. The way that she was hammering just on the keys, just not even trying to play accurate chords or notes, just literally mashing the keys in a rhythmic pattern, but at the same time, mixing that in, and she would do it, get her aggressions out, and then she would go shift on the low end and work her way up, playing those scales, playing those arpeggios. I mean, it was, I was sitting here listening to it going, I could absolutely hear Chester Thompson doing that, without question. I could totally hear it. Very nice job on her solo. I gotta say. And then when she was doing the trade-offs with the guitarist, trading fours, I thought that was a really nice job as well. Speaking of the guitarist, it seems like she's the lead. Kind of like Chick Corea Electric Band, Chick Corea's the lead, right? Well, and this is where the Steve Vai kind of comes into play. In Steve Vai's band, well, Steve Vai is the lead. So I was kind of getting vibes of that, but she definitely seemed to be the lead to me. Both in the amount of soloing that she got, the lead melodic line was clearly assigned to her. And of course, she's front and center, so that doesn't help. That doesn't hurt either to kind of point the arrow at her, like, this is it. This is your leader right here. Fine guitar work, really fine guitar work, really nice. Especially when she was doing her soloing. This is where I was really getting the Steve Vai vibes. A lot of her sweep picking technique in particular really just kind of screamed Steve Vai to me. The way that she had that soft attack, yet articulate. But it was a soft sweep pick, but every note was defined. It wasn't a hard pick though. It wasn't like there was a percussive attack. It was just a nice, smooth, just nice movement up the strings or down the strings if she was sweeping down. No, but I dug everything that she did. Nice usage. I was going to mention this. Nice usage of the tremolo bar, not overusing it, which I've seen a lot of guitar players do. But just knowing just when to use it and how much to use it. She wasn't sitting there, hammering away on the whammy bar. No, we didn't get that. It was more subtle. A lot of just gentle push, which I really enjoyed hearing those subtle bends coming out of it. Still not the highlight for me. And everyone's gonna go, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me." Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. I'm sorry, but I think that drum solo towards the end absolutely was the highlight. And I have my reasons why. Not only was she establishing the feel, not only was she establishing the groove, not only was she playing very tastefully while everybody else was soloing, but when it was her time to cut loose, she cut loose. And what I loved about her solo is she did use cymbals very minimalistically. She really focused her solo on the skins. And if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, it drives me absolutely up the wall when you have these drummers who rely on cymbals when they're doing any kind of a drum solo. And it's like, 3/4 cymbal work. And that just drives me up the wall. I like more, I like drum solos more that are geared towards what she did, which is like 90% skin work and only 10% cymbals. The only time she really got flashy with the cymbals was towards the beginning when she hit those two splashes alternately, and I was like, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little nervous when she did that. I'm like, let's see if this is gonna become a trend, and it didn't. That was pretty much it. She did utilize them a little bit here and a little bit there just for color, but for the most part, she was really focusing on demonstrating her skin technique. Some great subdivision work, some great fill work, some great transition, smooth transition from skin to skin. And that felt really nice. I'm sorry, I know I'm a bassist and I'm supposed to take the bass player's side, but in this case, I gotta say, drummer stole the show. So overall, I was really, really enjoying this. I absolutely dug it, and I gotta say there were a couple of things in there that did impress me a little bit. So yeah, 8.4, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.4, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.